Race number 2 of this second round-robin stage of the Louis Vuitton America's Cup qualifiers. France and the USA and the dogfight underway in the pre-start camp.
Jimmy Spithill certainly looking to try to put the kill on Groupama. They're parked right now, and this hook is going to be an easy one for Jimmy right now.
You got him.
They're early to start. You hear Tom Slingsby say, "You got him."
He tacks.
Yeah, a half tack for us. Just ease Jim. A little.
There's a half tack.
Your wing, Carl.
We'll listen to on board
Okay,
to the strategy.
Right, here we go. May need a little jib back here, okay? Help us with the inverter layer. Big ease and shoot.
Okay.
So stay high, keep it
For a
further.
little jib back. He's trying to keep
Keep the press on
maneuverability.
here.
He's the lured boat,
Yeah,
the
okay,
right-of-way
We're
boat.
good.
Groupama headed back for the start. They don't care where the starting line is. 13 seconds to go. He's just trying to get Frank Camas parked right now before he takes off for the starting line.
And now you see the speeds beginning to build and the Americans stretching away as the accelerator button is hit.
The most obvious mention, I think, in America's Cup history, clear start. Nobody's over early.
And hitting that start line at 32 knots of speed. The French trailing in some way behind right at the outset, and there the benefit of some very canny work from Jimmy Spithill.
It's always interesting when you're in a position of Oracle Team USA, when you're thought to be the faster boat, do you do a conservative start, stay away, and try to use your boat speed? Not with these guys. And we saw the same thing with Ben Ainsley yesterday. The aggressive guys can't help but be aggressive, so you don't take them out of their zone. Don't even think about it.
But we heard, didn't we, that it's just not advisable to be racing those boats in any kind of conservative fashion. You've got to go for broke, and the USA seem to be doing that as they round the mark and head downwind. The French needing a decent recovery here.
Let's go back to Lee McMillan for a minute. And Lee, is there anything you see on these two boats, light air boards, heavy air boards, setups that seem a little different that may be interesting to the world of in sailing?
Well, I'm pretty sure that Oracle are kind of on their medium boards, their all-round boards, which they've used a lot. This year we've seen them performing well with those, and they're kind of their go-to setup, to be honest. And it looks like Team France are on a similar set, so they both kind of got a similar setup for these conditions. And yeah, but obviously there at the start, it looked like Groupama Team France just got a little bit slow. It couldn't kind of defend the speed that Oracle USA had coming in for the hook. And it was kind of game over there for the start.
And now a penalty having transgressed through the boundary as well for Frank Camas's men.
They're going to have to slow down a couple boat lengths to relieve their penalty, of which they do. The key there is, it's a harsh penalty, but because to slow down, you kind of have the impression you have to come off your foils. I think we've seen some teams slow down by just radically going in a different course and not coming off the foils. Because sometimes, especially in this lighter air, once you come off the foils, it's really hard to get back up again, and you waste a lot of that hydraulic energy for those grinders grinding.
I think a lot of people might be wondering, Kenny, how they get a clear picture of exactly where the boundary is. How does that happen in terms of them being on the boat, working that out?
Yeah, the boats themselves have incredible GPS instrumentation, and those boundaries are dictated, given to the boats. You see that eagle maneuver again, by the way, coming into the mark with both boards down when they don't quite have that lay line proper. But yeah, they know they probably have some sort of remote display telling them how many meters to the boundary. Some boats actually have a screen showing them the boundary. It depends from boat to boat, but they are very keyed in. Split by France at that leeward mark, trying to go off the other direction. It's a big lead from Oracle Team USA early in this race.
So we're going to take a look at how the French managed to push through the boundary.
Yeah, he would have a monitor on board in some form or fashion. Everybody's different, telling them how many meters probably coming up to the boundary. There's a lighting system on board that gives you a warning as to where the boundary is. And unfortunately, that's a bit of an unforced error by Frank Camas and his team.
25, 26 is nice.
So I'm guessing in that scenario, that may even just be a tiny momentary loss of concentration. Ken, I mean, we've talked in the past, haven't we, about the number of decisions that have to be made by these helmsmen, the responsibilities on their shoulders. So if you're not paying 100% attention for the entirety of the race, little errors like that can creep in.
Yeah, well, Lee, how many things on board Ben Ainsley, on board your team's boat, how many different things does a helmsman have to do? For example, going around a mark.
Well, it's it's just full on, just trying to steer these boats at these speeds. But you also, I think you well know, a lot of the helms are also controlling the rake, which takes a huge amount of concentration. So to get the time to kind of look around and kind of make the observations and to kind of see what's ahead is very difficult. But I mean, I think one of the things with Frank Hamas there coming into the boundary was that the kind of setup time for a maneuver, it's kind of 10 seconds at times to get the guys in the right position, to get the board all the way down before you can start the turn. And if you don't get the board to max extension, then there's a good chance that you won't get it to extension after the jibe. So all these things you're trying to factor in within meters of that boundary. 1 second delay can make a difference, and that's what can cost you a penalty on that boundary.
Here we go, 4, 3, 2, 1. Turning.
I think the bottom line there, Ali, is sure looks easy from here to criticize. It's full on.
I think you've got that right. And perhaps we'll see the Kiwis again a little later on in the competition tomorrow. We can illustrate the point because they seem to be sharing duties a little bit between Peter Burling and Glenn Ashby, just to take the load off one man. It seems like a very heavy schedule. So the USA, the defenders of the America's Cup, and cruising at the moment. Interestingly, Ken, you were talking to me before we began today about the fact this is the first time that the Defender has been part of the Challenger qualifiers. Talk us through that and why it might be.
Well, certainly, I mean, let's face it, the Defender helps make the rules, right? And there's fair sportsmanship. There's also, you're looking out for your own interests as well. And when there's only one defender, there used to be multiple defender teams that would battle against each other, and they would have their own, in my day, we would have our own trials against multiple defenders or multiple challengers. With only one team as a defender, you're kind of stuck. You need somebody to race against, and this program was developed to let them sail in the Challenger trials, I believe, for the first time in history. A lot of people scratch their head about it, but at the same time, I mean, it's certainly an advantage for Oracle Team USA to be able to go out and race against somebody, not just yourselves all the time.
Going into gate 3 and turning for the downwind leg.
Watching him. Light patch and then Gus.
These guys look very smooth. Like Lee said, maybe with these light medium air boards in today, they look very stable and very smooth.
3, 2, 1.
100% fly time on Oracle Team USA today, and even in this lighter air shows those. Lee shows those long dagger boards are doing some good for them. A lot of stability, a lot of really good maneuvers.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, well, we've just seen a touchdown there from Oracle USA, but these have been their go-to boards through all the prep time, so they've got a lot of hours on them. They know them very well, and it's amazing. Just little differences on the board can make a real difference to how the boat feels and how twitchy it is. So, they'll be pretty confident with how the boat's feeling, and they've obviously got good boat speed and putting it through its paces today.
I think we're going to have to get a new commentator, Ken. Every time we get 100% fly time from any of these boats, as soon as you mention it, they come crashing down.
Well, we got to see. We have to see. Maybe Lee is as critical as I am on what actually is a splashdown versus what isn't a splashdown. So we'll see when we see that graphic come up again. There's actually instruments on board the boat that tell us whether it's splashed down or not. So technically, we take our emotion. Oh,
Hey.
still 100%.
Still there.
Sorry, Lee.
Still,
We're still
a
talking
shot
Okay,
out
Langers,
there.
got to get you back, mate.
Means you're gonna.
Langers.
It's like the missing that
Hey,
2-foot
stand
putt.
by.
The little
Nice and smooth. We got
little
time.
zipper came
time.
undone. That's like an
Only one,
access
only one
panel
in.
to get into the
Two,
wing
yeah.
at a lot
One.
of their controls, and it looked like the zipper popped. If they're going to splash
much stiff,
down,
Tommy.
this would be the one to splash down, because certainly they were out of sequence every second. Now there's a splash. Now we're going to have to see if our instrument's talking about
Hey,
the
you got a
weather
little bit
hull
of
or the
time to
leeward
look
hull.
Trying to lay in.
Yeah, no problem with lay. Big trim, big
This is
trim.
good. We're going to have to go to the tape to
Langers,
see
we
if
got
that's
15
taking us out of our
seconds.
100%.
Okay, you got a little bit of time.
Yeah, that was a zipper. That's an access panel to get at a lot of the controls, and
Just
the
get
zipper
out of there
obviously
if you're
popped. And
worried.
fortunately,
Langer, better get back.
whether the
Go
zipper's
trim, go
popped
trim.
for good or I don't think it's going to be any problem, any issue.
No eagle.
Even,
Get ready.
even if it's
Gonna get it out of the
After
is
the
popped
turn
for the
here,
rest of
Kai,
the
you
race,
go
it'll probably be
forward.
okay.
2, 1.
Nice and smooth.
Certainly doesn't seem to be affecting
max
the boat
dip when
speed
you-
at the moment as they turn around the gate. Now that
Do anything on the beat,
unquestionably
on the long tack?
has to
Okay.
interest the fly time judges.
Yeah, we're all good.
This is the moment when the zipper needed attention.
Yeah, getting caught with your zipper down.
Langers, we got 15 seconds.
Okay, you got a little bit of time.
Kyle Langford,
All fingers and thumbs.
yeah, the wing trimmer trying to make sure his wing stays in one piece there. Again, I don't believe that's anything structural whatsoever. It's just simply that access panel to get into the controls,
Yeah, watch
that
him.
control the
Right,
twist and the
right,
camber of the
slow.
wing.
Watch him, watch him, watch him.
Frank
Okay,
Camas,
keep it nice and
he's the weather,
That'd be
he's the
24s,
giveaway boat
25.
right now, so Oracle Team USA actually has right away.
he
even though the
doesn't
two
know we've
boats
got
are
an
on
issue, so we
completely
keep
different-
sailing slow.
Beside with 3 bats.
You just heard Tommy.
Okay, guys, just so you know, we're just nursing it from here.
I just heard Tom
Boundary
Slingsby
tacking.
actually dispute what I was saying and says we do have issues in our wing, and we're backing off here a little bit right now. So maybe it's more of an issue and not just a zipper that we were speculating. Lee, what do you think?
Okay.
Unfortunately, I
Doing a little build
can't
here,
give
guys.
you any view from here. I haven't been able to get a close look at what you guys are seeing in the studio yet. But we're getting in a bit closer. But yeah, I'll let you know as soon as I get anything from the water.
4, 3, 2, 1. Boiling tack, boys. Turn it. Right.
So the Americans
Nice, boys.
a long way out in front and in no great danger whatsoever from the French threat, but maybe, just maybe, a little bit concerned about their wing system.
Take it on the wind, guys. On the wind.
They look very solid, but we just heard Tom Slingsby, the tactician, say we should be nursing this thing a little bit because we have some problems. We saw a zipper from that access panel pop loose, and it's simply, that's all it is a zipper that lets that panel open up to get at the controls that control the camber and the twist of the wing. They're looking up top at the wing right now. Jimmy Spithill is.
He doesn't know we've got an issue, so we keep sailing slow.
Beside with 3 bats.
There's potential that that zipper didn't pop, and they actually opened it themselves to get
That's
into the
good lefty,
panel.
Let's stand by.
Which may be suggestive of something a little more concerning.
Exactly.
2, 1.
And you can hear the conversation on board about it, suggesting that they did need to just treat it with caution, treat it with care. No point in rolling the dice, really, when they've got this race sewn up.
Good lefty here.
Glorious sight on the Great Sound here in Bermuda. Such a picturesque setting.
Copy. Okay, so it's going to be into a pretty quick jibe out of this fairway.
Yeah, copy.
if backing off means being ahead by 817 meters, I think every team would like that.
A little further.
Back off.
Stand by.
So we're looking up to see if we see anything that looks out of the ordinary. And I can't say to this trained eye that we do. It seems like it popped through on the new side, not overly twisted, not underly twisted. But we'll have to ask after the race. Our crack reporters going out and asking what happened.
Yep, I know. We're going to be into a pretty quick setup, immediate setup, as soon as we get down to...
They're going 28 knots upwind in lighter air. Seriously, if this is backing off, I hate to see what putting the pedal down is.
Well, they're setting the bar, aren't they? Oracle Team USA and Jimmy Spithill. As we understand, they will skip the playoffs quite obviously and head straight to the match itself after the qualifiers are done. And how Jimmy Spithill would love to add to his triumphs of 2010 and 2013.
This might be an issue, actually. Good pressure here, take it all down.
Of the magical 3 figures.
Coming into that last mark right smack in the middle of our race course. That's the mark they'll be rounding right there and blast reaching up into the finish. Frank Camas still has quite a ways to go.
So a testing day for the French. They had a great deal of difficulty in the final race yesterday against the Japanese.
Nice, guys.
Frank Camas talking afterwards about the way they'd just lost energy. Not entirely clear as to whether he was talking about the boat as a whole and the powering of it, or whether actually he was talking about his men and the mental fatigue that they may be suffering from. You know, Jimmy Spithill very calm and composed.
Exactly, and these guys, you know, you got to wonder, as we approach the America's Cup, the breeze here in Bermuda is thought to get lighter and lighter and lighter over the next month. This is probably their light air package, which you know, you always wonder, you speculate right now, is it them who's super fast or are the French off the pace on a day like today? Because this is a massive gap. And if these guys are quick, this might be the first time we're seeing these light medium air boards. This is a setup that we're likely going to see much more of as this event progresses.
So terrific support for the Americans here on the shore of the Great Sound in Bermuda, and Jimmy Spithill cruising to victory. The defenders controlling the race and putting themselves into a very strong position. That bonus point ultimately could be really key in the match itself. And they had a tremendous performance. They have really dominated through the course of that particular race, and set up, of course, by that fabulous hook at the start, which set them on their way.
Boys. What do you think?
Long way back to Frank Camas. Previously, we reckoned the boat speed was not a major concern. We were spending a great deal of our time, Ken, talking about the boat handling instead. But perhaps this race suggestive of deeper concerns?
You want lighter air, probably lighter air boards, different setup, different configuration. Again, the day-to-day progression that each team has to make, maybe just a step behind today. Lee, I'm guessing every time your team, the British team, leaves the dock, you're looking to go, you got to go faster every day, right? The day that you stop trying to go faster is the day you get further behind. Don't have Lee.
A long way home. When you're that far back, plenty of time to think about exactly what didn't fall your way. they will hang in, the French. So almost 2 minutes behind the race winners, the French cross the line. And that's their 4th defeat of this particular regatta.